Welcome in to the Bitcoin Made Simple podcast. Sorry, I thought I had a cough, and I don't. Never mind, I do. Sorry. A good podcaster would edit that out, but I give you guys the real version of what this is. Yeah, welcome into the Bitcoin Made Simple podcast. I'm your host, Cory, and this week I want to talk to you guys about proof of work and how Bitcoin can kind of teach us lessons outside of just Bitcoin. So anyways, before I get into that, you want to get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin Made Simple. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off. And I'll tell you, I know you guys are using it. Those of you that have taken the brave step to use this hardware wallet, you were using it because they're continuing to sponsor for a long time, and we got more projects working together, and they say it's working. So thank you guys for doing that and supporting a good company like the Bitbox. Bitbox is the company. Thank you for supporting them. And thank you for helping support the podcast. Guess you guys like it, so I'll just keep rolling with it. And speaking of the podcast, I am going to be embarking on a nationwide tour. It's going to be a tour of Bitcoin meetups. So I know for sure I will be in Las Vegas at the Vegas meetup on June 27th, I believe. So if you want to come there and support the logo, talk Bitcoin with local Bitcoiners. If you're in the Vegas area, you're more than welcome to join. I'm going to interview, some of the people that organize it and just kind of have a little talk with. I think it'll be fun to go around and go to different meetups. So, that's the first one. I'll keep you guys posted. But, So let's get into it. Proof of work. So the big thing with proof of work that hit me personally was, we all know that that's Bitcoin's, that's how the Bitcoin reward comes in, is that you have proof of work, a proof of work system that that makes this hard. Let me look up, I'm just going to look and see what comes up. Bitcoin proof of work. Where did Satoshi say that? There's looking at the white paper. So I'm gonna search the white paper. Let's see, looking for the words proof of work. Proof of work. All right. Well, you guys have all heard this a million times. It's littered throughout, but here, let's just run through it. Just the network timestamps transactions by hashing them into an ongoing chain of hash-based proof of work, forming a record that cannot be changed without redoing the proof of work. Accepting the longest proof of messages are broadcast on a best effort basis, and nodes can leave and rejoin the network at will, accepting the longest proof of work chain as proof of what happened while they were gone. Let's see, where's the next reference? Sorry if this is boring, but you guys are Bitcoiners, so you get it. Okay. Proof of work. To implement a distributed timestamp server on a peer-to-peer basis, we will need to use a proof of work system similar to Adamback's Hashcash. Shout out Adamback. Rather than newspaper or Usenet posts. The proof of work involves scanning for a value that, when hashed, such as SHA-256, the hash begins with a number of 0 bits. It's proof of work is all over the white paper. Proof of work, essentially, from the beginning, says that the longest chain of proof of work will be the one that is honored. And so I was thinking about that in relation to life and sports. And I'll give you the first example. The first example was my son's little league team. He's a good player. Like, I mean, he's got a lot of improvement, but he's like, he has it in him to be a ball player, and he knows it, and he gets there, and he is more. And this is, son, if you're listening to this in the future, I'm not saying this. This is your nature. Approaches things with a little bit more caution. So it takes some extra steps to get through the mental exercise of being able to let the talents out in certain situations. So for example, switching from, whenever it was like T-ball and it was like a nice soft squishy ball and, nobody gets hurt and everybody runs one base and yada yada, it's all fun and games, to going to like competitive ball. And, it's a hard ball that if you get hit by it, it could hurt a little. Well, he really, really this year wanted to catch a fly ball, which if you've had your kids go through Little League or anything like that, fly balls being caught is a very rare thing, few and far between, especially in the outfield when it's like a much further hit, much bigger, much higher, all that kind of stuff. And he wanted to in the worst way. I mean, he was hitting well this year. He was fielding well in the infield, but he really, really wanted to catch a fly ball. And I said, well, you got to put in the work, because basically early on, he hit a nice, big, huge pop-up. Because sure, I could throw him pop-ups at home, but it's different when it comes off the bat, if that makes sense. So anyways, you hit a nice big pop-up and you're standing 150 feet away from it, and it is a lot different than your dad throwing you a pop-up in the backyard. And so I said, we got to work at this, because that's, it gets really high. It can be scary for kids. And so I said, you got to train your brain, because he was kind of afraid of the ball hitting him. So basically it was like judging it and could watch it, but wouldn't get near it enough to catch it. I said, all right, well, let's work on this at home. So at the beginning of the season, we worked on it. I started off, I said, here, I'll take the bat and I'll use wiffle balls, and I'll hit the pop-ups so that you can judge it. You can get the whole feel of it going off the bat, and you can, learn how to catch it, and get that whole process down. Then eventually we switched over to using regular baseballs. And, it was in the yard, I can only hit it, the clear, part of our yard without trees, and it's, play area is only so big. So like I could hit them little pop-ups, but then we went and we had a team practice before our last game. And I was hitting pop-ups to the outfield, and he didn't catch one, and he wanted to just stay there and stay there and stay there. So I think we did like an extra 20 minutes of me just hitting pop-up after pop-up after pop-up to him, and he was getting closer and closer and closer, and it was, he could judge the ball, but it was all the training your brain to, understand, trust yourself, you're gonna catch it, it's not gonna hit you, blah blah, all those things. So I could see it. I was like, I'm just gonna keep hitting him till he's tired, and then I could tell, after 20 minutes, and it was a hot day, I was like, come on bud, you're exhausted. And he said, yeah, you're right. But he was mad because he didn't catch one the whole time. And you should get BitBox O2 hardware wallet. Go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin made simple. Use promo code Bitcoin made simple to get 5% off. And he, so he was mad. And we get to the final game of the season, and I had him out in the outfield, and there's a big pop up hit his way, and I'm just like, it's not right at him, so he's got to go run. And I see him like running for it, and I'm like, oh boy, like he's got a beat on it. He's going for it, and sure enough, he caught this huge fly ball. You know, the whole crowd, like a video of it. You can hear me like, it's probably the loudest I've ever cheered for anything in my life at a sporting event. I didn't care whether, I said to my wife afterwards, I said, I don't care, we win or lose, whatever, I can die happy. I was so happy to see that. And he was so excited and so pumped in himself and believed in himself. And, he came running in, gave me a big bear hug. And I said, all that work paid off. And when I was thinking about it that night, I was like, that's proof of work. Every aspect of your life is proof of work. And he showed it there. He put in the work. And the proof will eventually show up. I've had that, situation. So, I couldn't be more proud of him. And I just was so happy. And yeah, I will, in years that, I doesn't even matter if we win or lose that game. Just was happy that he did that and got to see it pay off. So yeah, there's something to be learned from Bitcoin with proof of work. A lot of people have talked on it. But then even, I won't get into specifics, but like a particular business situation that I'm in at the moment, and it's just, I've had this happen in random business situations throughout the years, is that you hit like a little snag in a business plan and something needs to be done about it. And it's like, okay, I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to be the one that does this. I'm going to be the one that gets this taken care of. And so, yeah, I've been spending a lot of my time, most of my time. This particular situation has involved a lot of driving, a lot of going, basically, I seriously back to like a door-to-door salesman. Like, it's not quite that. It's hard to explain this. I'm not going to explain the situation, but it's like, it's something that needs done. It's still not completed yet, but I'm still pushing because I know the proof of work will prevail. And I know it'll, like, it's going to, there's this situation. If I explained it in detail, you would understand there will be a solution here. It's just going to take some elbow grease. And so I am putting all that work in and hoping, and I know that eventually the reward will be there. And my proof of work will be what makes that reward so sweet. So, people post all the time pictures of them exercising, lifting weights, whichever, all the different things, even, people taking care of like homesteading, people with making good food for their family, all that kind of stuff. And it's like proof of work. Proof of work is what matters. And proof of work is in Bitcoin. It's like a core tenet of Bitcoin, but it should be a core tenet of your life, because proof of work will get you through anything, good or bad. It'll help you pull through. You got to just put the work in. So do that and get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. That's kind of some work that you guys need to do. If you haven't bought one yet, you should buy it. Do the work. You will be a better Bitcoiner for it. You will have taken your wealth into your own hands, and you will not be relying on others. So do that. Get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet, and I will talk to you guys later.